And this is The Intro. And I'm your host, Gus Summers. It's good to be back with you today. You know what that means. Gus is in the building. That's right. We have a great singer-songwriter who I know you're going to love his story. He has a fantastic story that hopefully is in a song.
It's in a lot of my songs.
There you go. His name, Mark Anderson. Mark, thanks for being with us today.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me, Gus.
You know, you've been talking off air about all the great experiences you've had. Well, I don't know, would you call them great?
Learning, yeah. Looking back now, they were hard at the time, but looking back now, yeah, it's really great stories. Yeah.
You know, I played some of your songs a few weeks ago on the air, and they were beautiful. And,
thank you.
And when I was reading about your story and such, I was like, wow, can't wait to get Mark on the air. Let's go back. Not too far. I know we're all 29 in here.
Yeah. And counting.
That's right. Let's start when your first musical influence. Do you remember when you fell in love with music? You go, this was going to be my career.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was 4 years old, and I was I sang a song in the church behind my parents' house, and I sang a song called Farajaka, and all the people in the church came up and patted me on the back, and said, "What a cute little kid! He's so cute," and it just gave me the bug. I really wanted to sing then.
Nice.
And probably next was in grade school. I put a band together, and I sang at my talent show in grade school. And then in high school, the same thing. I won my high school talent contest, and then I put a band together and started playing the nightclubs around my hometown. And I entered a radio contest at a radio station called WTUE in Dayton, Ohio. And I won first song on side one on that. And then I got picked up by a management company, and by the name of MGM Management, Bob McCutcheon Management, who worked for Sunshine Promotions, who booked like Van Halen back in the day, REO Speedwagon, all the big bands.
Right.
And I got to be an opening act, open for a lot of the big bands that came through town and that played in Indianapolis, Memphis, Tennessee. I played like a 10-15 state radius back east before I come to LA.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I got started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. So was the music rock and roll? Country?
I played, when I first started, I played metal, actually, heavy metal, which would, back then, it's not like the metal today. It's, it's more like pop rock today.
Yeah, right.
But, I started out, back in the Midwest, you couldn't play a lot of originals. You had to play covers in the nightclubs. So I'd learn all the covers of the day, like the Rolling Stones, the Who, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and I go in the nightclubs and I'd play that. And the first metal band I was in like that was called the Pretty Boys, and I opened up for John Kay and Steppenwolf, which was great. John Kay was so good, really good band. And I played, and then when that band broke up, I got in a kind of a new wave punk band. And I opened up for the Stray Cats at the height of their career when they had Rock This Town and Stray Cat Strut and all those tunes. I played with them, and I played with Badfinger on their reunion tour, and the Producers. They were one of the first bands on MTV, and just a bunch of bands like that. And then I traveled around like a 15-20 state radius, playing in all the big nightclubs in all the cities. And then when that band broke up, that's when I moved to LA.
Look at that.
Yeah, but let me tell you a little quick. I'll tell you a good story about Memphis, Tennessee.
I love it.
And when I was playing in a club called Solomon Alfred's one night. This was in the punk rock band in like 1983. And it was on a Tuesday night, and we were playing the whole week, but we were booked from Tuesday to Saturday. And there was no one in the place. It was dead. There was the barmaids and maybe 3 people in this giant nightclub because it was pouring down rain. It's one of those nasty Midwest storms.
Right.
And I saw somebody come in. I just started my set, and I saw somebody come in one of the doors, a group of people, and they sat all the way in the back of the nightclub. Never come up and talk to us or anything, but when I finished my set, one of the barmaids come up with a napkin on her tray, and she said, someone in the back wanted me to give you this, and it was a note from Nick Lowe and Johnny Winters, and they said, you're really great, don't give up, keep it up.
Wow.
And it just it did something to me, really inspired me, and
Yes.
through the hard times of playing, when you don't have any money and times are tough and that,
Right.
and that was very inspirational to me,
Right.
that Johnny Winter and Nick Lowe did that.
Right.
Another little story about Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes, we have to bring that one up.
Yeah,
please.
I'll tell you a little bit about it. You were playing Elvis at the beginning of the show. I was, from the time I was a very little kid, I was a gigantic fan of Elvis Presley. He was
Yes.
very, very inspirational to me. And when I played in Memphis, I used to stay at a hotel, the band did, at a hotel called the Airport Inn, and it was right down the street from Elvis's mansion. And when I finished playing at the nightclubs, I would go down to, the band would come back to the hotel, and I'd get back in the van and I'd drive down to Elvis's mansion. And I'd sit outside and talk to the guard at the gate, and I would read the writing on the wall, the wall in front of Elvis's mansion where the famous gates are at, that has, with the guitar with Elvis,
yes.
The guitar
Yes.
player on it. And I would read everything on the walls. It's like covered in graffiti, the entire wall from everywhere, all over the world. It's just the most amazing thing. There's not a square inch on that wall that isn't signed by someone saying they love Elvis.
Yes.
And it was so inspirational to me because I loved Elvis Presley so much, so I would, that's where I would write songs. I'd sit against the wall out there until the sun come up and would write songs by Elvis's mansion.
No, I love that story. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Talking about 1 degree away from Elvis.
Yeah,
I mean, you were
yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Well, did you feel the ghost of Elvis?
Oh, well, I went back there many times to, actually, right before, well, on the way from Dayton, Ohio to California, I stopped at, it was one of the last stops I made. I drove on Route 40 down to Elvis's mansion and said goodbye to Elvis on my way to, went inside the mansion and actually, this is another kind of strange story here, but I would collect rocks from different famous people's graves,
Right.
and I would have them. I kept the rock from a little pebble from by Elvis's, where he's buried at Graceland, and every time I played on stage, I'd have that little pebble in my pocket from Elvis's grave, and it was just kind of inspirational to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
you still have it?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
you still put it in your pocket when you play?
Yes, I do.
Oh, do you have it with you today?
Oh no, I didn't bring it with
so
me.
you may not leave with it today.
It's in a little bag. I have a little bag that
No, that's fantastic. Those are great stories. A life of an artist.
Yeah.
Gleaning inspiration and
Yes.
knowledge from other great artists. That's fantastic. I want to play one of your songs. We were talking about playing a little something from your No Easy Way Out
very
CD.
good.
Now tell us a little bit about that. So we were going to play Twilight Traveler. Is that
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twilight Traveler. I wrote with a fellow by the name of Gary Grant, who played on like 5 or 6 Michael Jackson albums. He's a trumpet player here in L.A. and he's in a handful of the best musicians in L.A. He's played with everybody. He's done like 500 major motion pictures, and Gary produced this record, and he was my mentor. Gary trained me. The singer that I am and what you hear today, I owe 100% to my dear friend Gary Grant.
Wow, fantastic. I know it's great. All right, so here is Mark Anderson and Twilight Traveler.
Or just a started in the night.
And that was Mark Anderson and his song, Twilight Traveler. Mark, I know we were talking, and you love to write, and you have hundreds and hundreds of songs. How do you come up? Oh, let me make it in a general fashion. When you're writing a song, do you start off with a lyric? Do you start off with a melody, a title perhaps?
Title, always.
Really?
Yeah, it's always a title first. I'll spot something that just hits me in a certain way, and usually I'll come up with a title from that. And once I have the title of the song comes pretty easy for me. You know, it's the idea, the basic what I'm going to write about.
Yes.
Once I have that, once I have the idea what I'm going to write about, it flows from me. It's almost unstoppable. I mean, it just, you know, I'll be midnight laying in bed and my head's going 100 miles an hour about that song, and it stays that way until I finish the song.
Wow. That's awesome. You know, I always love to ask people who write songs, you know, how they start, and everyone always has a different answer. And some people will say, well, I start off with a melody. Others, like yourself, you know, I start off with the title and then go from there.
Well, I'm pretty much a poet at heart. Before I ever started writing music, I wrote poetry from the time I was very little too. And when I first started actually writing the music too was in that punk rock band, the Beat Boys, and the guy who played guitar in that band, he got me writing. He was like a really prolific writer. Actually, I wrote 2 of the songs on my new record with him. Is a fellow by the name of Dave Haley. He went to Berklee School of Music in Boston. He was a graduate of that, and just very prolific writer. And you know, but I had always written poetry, and that's what I was a singer, and I would just write lyrics.
Right.
And he got me writing the music too, picking up guitar and writing.
Hey, look at that! Look at that! Always a little signs and a little chemistry behind everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, again, thanks. Appreciate you coming into the show.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
All right. Hey, well, this is Gus Summers, and you've been listening to The In Show, and we've had Mark Anderson in studio, and we're going to have a lot more of him and his music right after a quick commercial break. So we'll be right back.